Yeah, we're good. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Off the Script podcast. This week, we've got a slightly different setup. We haven't got the usual three hosts. We've got a missing Tim. Tim cannot be here. That's a nice cut. Look at that. Show that again. Look at that. Jealous. Right. Because he's got other commitments to, I'm assuming, a certain lady friend.
I hope so.
It is Tim. We're not butthurt at all. Fucker. And hopefully we'll have, with the new addition of our new guest this week, Mr. Sam Bennett, hopefully this will be a very entertaining podcast for all you viewers at home or on your cross trainers or Stairmaster or whatever you're listening to this while doing.
Before we start,
okay,
I'd just like to
here we go.
I'm just wearing an Ultimate Fitness hoodie because then
we have to make sure we throw that out there. Shout out to
we've got an announcement to make.
Shout out to our sponsor.
Yeah, just so you don't get in trouble again. So,
Right.
Should we mention that actually while we're here? Just get this covered.
Right.
So
blanket and gone announcement. Right.
Okay.
No harm was intended with the comments in the reason.
So last week we got I wouldn't say shit. That's a bit, but we may have poked a few bears.
No.
So this week we'll try not to any of the viewers at home. We don't want you to be upset or feel slighted in any way. So we'd like to just give a shout out to Ultimate Fitness, the home gym that we train at in Birmingham.
Yep. Sponsor of gains for all three of us.
Sponsor of my gains and 2018. Right. So Sam, would you like to introduce yourself, mate?
So obviously my name's Sam, but in the industry, a lot of people know me as Barbarian, because literally everything about me has a Barbarian moniker. So the Barbarian Classic is the independent bodybuilding show that I run. And, we're making waves. Last year was the first one. This year is going to be the second, and there's going to be plenty more to come. And obviously my training is Barbarian training, where I prep clients, and I do that more for a hobby. I think I enjoy. It's not an income. It's not my main income, put it that way. So I started competing at 16. I've competed in at least 13 shows. I've been in every federation. I'm a fed whore. I've literally done them all raw as well.
Will you do them again?
Yeah, I'll do it again, 100%. I've done well in quite a few shows. Obviously as a junior, and now I'm unfortunately not a junior anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just taking time out of kind of competing, and I'm not necessarily the most dedicated bodybuilder as far as diet anymore. But I'm still outspoken, and people still listen to me, which is nice.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's one thing I have noticed since as long as I've known you really, is there has been sort of a big shift in terms of your mentality towards, I guess, competition or bodybuilding as a whole. With you, I guess now you're sort of more leaning towards just the health aspect, aren't you?
Well, more the business aspect, but obviously, the health. I mean, bodybuilding for me now is a long-term thing. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to risk any of my health to get a piece of paper.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm very honest. I mean, with my genetics, even if I did manage to get a pro card, I'm not going to be doing much with it. So,
yeah, fair enough.
I'd rather keep my balls nice and full, get some kids, and
I mean, I completely respect that. I think we had this conversation last podcast to an extent with Kuba when he was on, and I think it was in regards to about women competitors and some of the substances.
Using antibiotics.
And how people get it mixed up in regards to, is this competing or is it your life? A lot of people if you've got a goal in mind to, let's say, become Mr. Olympia or Mrs. Olympia or Olympia, like an Olympian.
Mrs. Olympia.
Mrs.
What is this,
Olympia.
like 80s and over?
Shut up. All right. Either way, like there's a lot of classes out there, of course, but to become Olympia champion in one of those classes, that's going to take away probably a few years of your life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, every bodybuilder's slowly killing themselves. Everyone
absolutely.
who takes drugs every year, I mean, can be in denial and say, "Oh, I get my health checked, or I do this, I do that." But realistically,
there's only so much you can do. Absolutely, and even for like me, a little natty boy, it's still like the act of getting competition lean. You can't sustain that. I couldn't stay competition lean year round. That's ridiculous.
I mean, believe me, natural bodybuilding is so much safer. So much safer. Because you've got to realise that bodybuilding is often fueled by the attitude of wanting to win so bad. And a lot of people who do this sport want to win more than anything. Yeah. And obviously, when you're given supplements that can help, for example, let me give you an example. So if one fat burner is good, they'll probably think, 2 fat burners good.
Yeah.
4 fat burners good. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it can become very much, they'll do anything for a trophy.
100%.
Becomes a science experiment.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I've grown out of that now. I can't be fucked with it anymore.
He means he's done everything.
So do you want to go a bit more in depth into something particular, let's say like your show, because you are a show, you have your own show, the Barbarian Classic.
Yeah. So obviously, look, I love bodybuilding. I can tell you the results of the 98 Mr. Olympia. I can tell you about, loads of British pros from present day, past. But realistically, I know that I'm never going to be a Mr. Olympia. And I always say to people, so how can I make a living doing something I love? Now, a lot of bodybuilders are broke as fuck. It's a fact. And a lot of bodybuilders are often lazy as well. Use bodybuilding as a byproduct to make you successful. So that's how I look at it. So, for example, I looked at kind of the market and thought, right, there's loads of prep coaches. Everyone's a prep coach nowadays. So how can I make myself different? And I thought, you know what? The Barbarian name is pretty cool. And, I've competed in so many feds. And when you compete in a lot of feds, you can kind of pick and choose things that's good, things that's bad.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but there are politics involved in a lot of federations. And ultimately, people get fucked off by this. So I thought to myself, why don't I just put on my own show and just have it about bodybuilding, have it fun? Obviously, I need to make a living out of it as well. I need to make a decent amount. And, have a fucking awesome guest poser and literally have a show for the athletes. Like, our trophies were fucking cool. We sorted out accommodation for the competitors. I mean, fuck me, I brought my dog on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sick.
You wouldn't get that at, 2 Bros or UKBFF or anything like that.
But it is,
and that's fun.
Yeah, it's very pure about bodybuilding. Your show is, if I'm correct, the actual women's competitor won the overall.
Right? Faye, wasn't it? Faye won. TV Pro.
So how I kind of
when does that happen?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how I look at it is different. So I have 2 sections of my show. I have the bodybuilding as the first half, and then I have all the fitness categories in the evening. So the bodybuilders go on first, so they, it's better for timing and stuff. They have to wait around.
Yeah.
And then obviously the girls competing in the fitness have more time to do their hair and makeup, etc.
Yeah.
But what we did, we put female bodybuilding back. A lot of federations don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
We actually let our female bodybuilders compete in the bodybuilding open, so they got the chance to compete against men.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair, because you can't compare. I mean, for example, you look at the ladies overall. You can't compare a female bodybuilder to a bikini girl. No. They just can't step on stage next to each other and compare them in their class.
Absolutely.
Because, the issue is a lot of judges as well. They are bodybuilding judges, so they're always going to favour more muscle. And this is why a lot of bodybuilders. At the
end of the day, it's a muscle contest. Yeah.
Exactly. And literally, we had Faye, and she looked amazing. She was actually 2 weeks out of a show that she won her pro card.
She looked unbelievable. I remember seeing pictures, and
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I think so. I was still in prep at that point, and I was just like, I was blown away, absolutely blown away. Yeah. So like, so even at a show like, and this is the first time you'd ever done a show, like you pulled some absolutely fantastic competitors into that show, like some really good talent.
Yes, I mean we had like Jim Giorgio, who's a massive, and now he's an avid champion.
Huge.
We got some amazing judges. We got Luke Sandow guest posing as well.
Yeah.
Which 10 weeks out from the Olympia was fucking awesome to see.
Yeah, I bet.
And I mean, the only thing that I got pissed off about with that was that I obviously was emceeing, so I couldn't see a head-on view.
Yeah.
So that was the only negative aspect of the whole thing. But I loved it. And literally, I mean, if anyone who comes to my shows, I mean, you'll see how I talk on stage. I'm very honest and I'm very straightforward. Literally, by the half-time point, I said, listen, if you guys want to leave, the bodybuilding class is finished, you're welcome to. I'm not going to get upset because I'd do the same. I mean, it's so blunt, but it's honest. I mean,
people like that.
When I go to a bodybuilding show, if a friend's in a class, I'll watch it. I'll watch the bodybuilding classes, then I'll piss off.
Yeah.
It's fair to be honest.
We had that at the PCA, didn't we? Phil's competing, and you literally went in, watched Phil, left. That's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I think I even missed a couple of the bodybuilding classes. To be honest, I went to get a sandwich and boots. I missed out on that meal deal.
When there's a meal deal to be had, you take the deal and run with it, man.
That's my prep these days.
Yeah. And McDonald's.
McDonald's
meal deals
5 times a week.
Can't go wrong. So, in regards to you as a coach, do you want to talk us through that? And
so basically, me as a coach, I'm really weird. I don't really advertise much. I'm not one of these guys who pushes it out there. Because for me, it's more. This sounds really bad. I have to kind of like who I work with, because with me, if you don't do what I say, fuck it, I lose interest. I know
that's fair with every. I think that should be most coaches' mentality.
Because I mean, if it comes to the point where I'm taking your money, you're not going to do what I say. What's the point? You know what I mean? You may as well just burn your money. So I mean, if you notice, a lot of my clients are actually good friends. I see them outside of train with them. But I think you need that bond. For me anyway, because I'm quite hands-on. So for example, like if I've got a guy competing, I'm asking for pics every couple of hours on that day. But as far, I mean, I do obviously coaching. I do like stuff from afar as well. I've had some American clients over, the last few months. And I mean, I only really coach men, I'll be honest. Women kind of bore me unless it's female bodybuilding. It's not my thing. But I do posing classes occasionally. But I mean, for me, dude, it's more, kind of the actual show aspect.
100%.
Because I mean, the market is so oversaturated with prep coaches now, and I mean, people, swap coaches every 6 months. So.
Yeah, and you found yourself a nice little niche, I think, in terms of a private, like your own. Like, how many people who are coaches and bodybuilders, etc., have their own show? Who are, pros?
Like, I mean, and especially when you look at the guys who I coach, they've approached me.
I was going to say,
it's very rare that I'll approach someone, unless I think to myself, unless I see that they've done a prep and they look better before the diet, and I think, they probably want a bit of a redemption.
We had the conversation about this the other day, didn't we?
Your mate. I mean, got turned into a stick insect on stage. That's not bodybuilding, I mean, it's not a dieting competition. It is in some aspects, but you want to look like a bodybuilder still.
I think that's interesting. Do you want to go into that real quick about because I agree very much that like there's a point of like hello.
Sorry.
TOS, mate.
Just a bit hot.
Banned.
It'll get us the views.
There you go.
I saw a nipple.
Oh.
There you go.
This is definitely not okay for 16 and under. I've got to play.
There you go. That's way better.
Not with all that hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
For God's sake. You get
We
banned.
get some nair on there, man. Some nair across the chest.
Keep the
and back.
nips out of view, and then we'll be fine.
I've tried nair. My hair's too thick. It just doesn't respond well to it.
What's your go-to for shaving?
So I normally, I'm just gonna put my phone on charge. There we go.
Machete.
So professional. So for me, shaving, it's always in the shower, a wet shave. I'll get someone to shave me. It usually takes a few hours.
All right, love.
I normally
Just shave me back. I'll give you 20 quid.
Joke. When I used to work at Temple Gym, there was a lot of bodybuilders who, didn't really have girlfriends. And obviously the 18-year-old at the desk, they'd ask me to shave their backs. So that was always really fun.
Wow. Yeah. How much you get paid for a back shave?
I did it for free, just because I was nice. I mean, now I probably charge people to shave my back nowadays. But I mean, that was awesome. I mean,
you should bag it up and put it on eBay.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? The job description was, selling protein shakes, cleaning up the gym. The reality was injecting some guy's hairy ass and shaving backs. So
wow, living the high life, mate.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
And here we were at the start, like, oh yeah, we're not gonna chat shit or say anything about any specific gym. Well, here we go.
I mean,
close down, so we can talk about it. I think.
Oh no, you know what I mean. I'm going to be honest. I mean, everyone at the gym will agree with me. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
And they're not ashamed of it, and neither am I. Because
do you think that's like a thing with a lot of gyms that I guess they're outside my generation? Was that like a theme with a lot of UK gyms?
Well, I'll tell you a funny story, and this is true now. So at Temple, it was standard to see people injecting in the change rooms.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about in cubicles, literally in the change room right in front of you. So I saw guys inject each other's rhomboids. I've seen people take hamstring injections, tricep. So I thought it was always second nature. And when I was about 21, 22, I tried some peptides. And obviously at Temple, you inject, it didn't matter. And I moved to Ultimate Fitness in Birmingham. Obviously, And so I'll tell you about this. And literally, I trained, rolled up my shorts, got my needle out in the change room, and someone walked in, and I just carried on and did it. And so I was like, we don't do that here. And I was like, oh, okay. And funnily enough, I got caught doing the same at Emporium Gym.
That's sick.
But you're young, and that's what I was used to.
The Phantom Needler, fucking random gyms around the UK.
I mean, I always put them away. It's not like I left them out.
Just leave them in some.
Did you have like a little sharps box that you carried in your gym bag?
Just went around pinning people.
We should have expected
that. That was an Adidas shoe box.
You should just put the lid on and then put it in, and then I'd get home and put it in the sharps box.
Brilliant. That's sick.
Brilliant.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I've never actually.
Bodybuilding.
I've never ever.
Don't know where your mind's going. Hello.
Oh,
there you there?
Hello. We good?
Oh, yeah.
We okay? We're back.
Right, you're back.
I might pause it for a second.
Yeah.
You're very slow, Sam.
Speaking of the shows, just inform everybody, put your plugs in now instead of doing them at the end.
So obviously the Barbell Classics on the 13th of June this year on a Saturday. We got the 2-on-2 Mr. Olympia guest posing coming out. We got Faye, who won last year, who's also an IFBB Pro guest posing. We got a shit ton of categories. It's multiple category. Starting out, you can see where you kind of fit. So, for example, you could do classic bodybuilding, and you could do muscle model. See how you fare, and then see which one you prefer. My dog's going to be there to guest posing, and we've got tray stands. Fun, and kids go for it. So
cool. That's pretty fantastic, and I like that you've almost marketed it there as almost like a bit of a warm-up for first-time competitors and getting more into the sport and sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, You're not, because competing is stressful as fuck, and our show is quite relaxed. I mean, anyone who's there last year will echo what I'm saying now. I mean, Christ, I think, obviously, because, you're starting out as a show, we decided to put on a wellness class, and wellness isn't that popular here in the UK.
Yeah.
We literally had one girl competing, and I thought to myself, well, you know what? I'll get on the stage and do a pose down with her. So you got me sticking my ass out, doing bikini poses.
Yeah,
it's that sort of vibe.
It's also good, I think, for first timers, because then they're not affiliated with any particular governing body or anything like that, because it's an independent show.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, nowadays that's changed a lot. I mean, credit to like the PCA, WABA, they're pretty chilled. It was just the UKBFF back in the day. Well, back in the day still, and that's why barely anyone competes anymore.
Wow. There's no pro card affiliated with them, so why do you want to get? From what I've heard, why do you want to get treated like shit?
But they've got the IFBB elite card.
I know,
but
there's some freaks in the elite division, but it's not the same, is it?
I mean, what you'll find about federations like WABA, NAC, I mean, in the UK, PCA and obviously Two Bros are kind of the strongholds. But when you go abroad, WABA, NAC, you have some amazing physiques.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, obviously, I've competed there abroad. Some of the physiques. I mean, I remember the WABA show. Peter Molnar was there.
What a physique! Crazy.
And there was a guy who I competed against in the NAC juniors back in 2017, and I kid you not, his legs. I'd probably say if he was a UK pro now, they'd be in the top 3 out of all the pros in the UK. They were that big.
As a junior as well.
Yeah, it's from Ukraine. Didn't speak a word of English.
Okay.
I got on my Facebook.
No surprise there. Some Chernobyl experiment gone wrong.
Yeah, some Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies.
You've got to do the post down. Come on.
See, when you mentioned it, so with Two Bros, what are you going to go watch the British this year?
Well, I went to a Two Bros show last year.
We were talking about it, weren't we?
Yeah. I walked in. I didn't do the coaches pack. I'm not paying 100. I'm not going 100 quid to go backstage. If they want to make money, I guess I get what they're doing. But no, I probably won't. I mean, it's just one of them. You know what I mean? I'm going to Vegas in September.
Yeah.
So that's
out to Mr. Yelp.
Yeah. Do we want to? Should we talk about that real quick, Sam? Do we want to?
Sure.
Yeah. So I got a guy competing in the Amateur Olympia in Vegas this year. So we'll be going there. It'll be his first show. Obviously, the Amateur Olympia is a fucking big show for your first show, but it's one of them in at the deep end, and the experience as well. I mean, competing abroad is way better than competing in the UK, in my opinion.
I think I've not competed abroad, but I'd probably agree. Like the end goal, I think when I competed here was to get to a international stage. Was it like that was in my head? I was like, I just want to compete in America.
Yeah, well, I mean, my view is kind of competing. I mean, this is for you guys as juniors. Choose shows and federations that allow you to travel, experience. Because let's be honest, I mean, you win a junior show, you don't get a pro card, you don't get fuck all really.
Yeah.
So it's best to kind of get those experiences, widen your horizons, and it's fun, man. So,
you get a holiday with it as well.
I mean, I'm very excited for that because I'll be going as well. I'm very excited also just to see the process and see what Rod can do and where he's going to go with it. I've no doubt that he's going to shock people in terms of how he's going to transform.
The arms, mate, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you sent us an update picture for Rod's.
Yeah, mate, he'll be honest.
That's even, I think Rod sent me a month ago. Oh, hello. Look at you.
Yeah, they're not my glasses, but I just want to put them on.
Just make you look professional. But I'm just excited to see how you coach him, see what you can do, because already, like in the past few months especially, I've just noticed a huge change.
Yeah.
Well, everything I've done and with my clients, I've done it on myself. I've always done it on myself. I've done shows where I've carved up on insulin. I've done shows where I haven't. I've used certain diuretics. I haven't used them on other shows. So this is how I kind of know, I've tried different fat burners. Obviously, not everyone's body reacts the same way, but I understand the side effects. I understand the feeling of when you're on them. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah,
100%. I'll be watching from afar.
I'm excited just for the pool party, encore pool party afterwards. That's going to be good.
Yeah, man, I'll be there with my wife. So
make sure you full body shave.
Yeah, when you're married, you can be hairy.
That's true. Actually, you've got nothing to prove to anyone at that pool party. That's very true.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, bro. I mean, you know how I am. I don't really care how I look.
It's true. Yeah. Sam is very unapologetically Sam. So moving on to actually, we just spoke about, I guess, like all the different protocols and stuff that you stuff. Do you want to? Should we cover it? I know it was something mentioned to me beforehand, Joe, about the difference between natty and enhanced.
Yeah, we can cover that quickly if you want.
Yeah. Do we want to go into that? So I'll let Sam start because he was on the roll there with that subject.
Just say like the last 2 weeks before a show, maybe. And
so to put it simpler, if we're talking about whole prep, this is coming from someone who's competing naturally and on drugs. It's a lot harder on drugs. It's easier as a natural. Now you guys are probably thinking
less variables if you're natural. So
well, that's it. Less variables. And in today's era, day and age, the legitimacy of your stuff can not be great if you don't have a good source. And a lot of people don't have this. So, for example, if you're in prep and you're, taking equipose, and it's actually Deca, and you're holding a shit ton of water, you have loads of different variables. So, for example, if you're dieting, and you're like, okay, when do I drop my GH? Do I take insulin to carb up? Do I take this diuretic? When do I stop clen? When do I stop T3? All these questions that a lot of first-time competitors who obviously take gear have. It's a lot harder, in my opinion, with kind of the water issues than it is as a natural. I mean, you look at the average competitor. The average competitor in natural shows, minus a few kind of, fat teenage competitors and shit. You get them. It's their first show, they're allowed to. The general condition on natural shows is better than enhanced, in my opinion. Yeah. If you're looking at the average show.
Yeah.
And that can be for loads of different... I mean, I do think it's because it's simpler. And, bodybuilding, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
The best way.
I like that. I like that, isn't it?
So, but for example, I mean... I mean, for a natural athlete, if I was prepping them, obviously, oh, sorry, the same carb. I mean, you do a carb up. I never totally cut off water with anyone. I just deplete it. I keep sodium in. I don't do anything crazy like that. But what I do is, obviously, with my enhanced guys, if they need to, I'll add a bit of a diuretic in, diazide, just a very small amount. Obviously, with a natural competitor, their diuretic, I know it sounds boring, is dandelion root. And I like to kind of overload with vitamin C.
H2O remove. I think I've still...
But yeah, I mean, I actually tried H2O remove for a prep. So obviously, I did a year when I did 8 shows back to back, and H2O remove is shit compared to an actual proper diuretic. The difference
is that by AD or what?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Let's not plug him too much because
shout out to Joe Binley who runs the company.
I enjoy his podcast, to be honest.
I didn't know he had a podcast.
He does one with Justin Compton. So
oh really?
Pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
really
I
like their oh god, what is it? Matador, I think it is.
The glucose disposal idea.
That's good. But yeah, I mean, H2O is probably good, for an actual athlete. You'll take it and you'll be like, oh, notice the difference.
Even me, I personally, I felt I felt that supplementing with, I had a EAA complex which had like a blend. It had EAAs, but then electrolyte formula mixed into it.
Yeah,
that did
recovery was it in Nova Farms.
Yeah, that one did for me in terms of reduced water retention. I think.
I mean, realistically, the equivalent of a bodybuilder, like an enhanced guy taking natural-based supplements, is the equivalent of doing it raw all your life, and then you switch to using condoms. Do you know what I mean? It sucks.
Yeah.
It's true. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck am I doing? This is just shit. But that's literally what it is. So I mean, I'll give you an example. So when I'm enhanced, and I like a bit of insulin on weak body part days, the pump I get is awesome. As soon as I come totally off, the first thing I notice is how the pump isn't the same. And obviously with my kind of style of training, I do miss that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what do you notice? So obviously, like, so we touched on prep there, and you just started to touch on, like, in terms of actual training and like performance in the gym. Is it
2
like,
seconds, guys. I'll be back. All right.
all right, Sam? A lot of people say like it's not. I've heard people say that it's a huge strength boost, and I've heard people say it's not as big as people make it out to be.
The strength boost.
Yeah.
It all depends on how you train. I mean, I did a cycle once where I put on, must have been at least 45 kilos, 50 kilos on my bench press. I've had a guy now who I've put on his first cycle.
Yeah.
His rack pull was increased by 80 kilos.
And would you attribute that to the diet and the training? And then
It's a bit of everything. Obviously, you know, hormones are so important for so many levels.
Yeah, it's true.
But I mean, they can also be dangerous as well, obviously. But you know,
even I noticed in prep as well. Even me, the act of having a bad night's sleep, just completely threw off my physique, just because my cortisol was through the roof. So even something on
I mean,
this level, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my diet's shit. Literally, I'll eat enough protein, but I'll just eat kind of anything. But one thing I always do get is sleep. I probably sleep about at least 12 hours a day, man.
Really?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, normally I'll just literally. So obviously, you know, I'm kind of lucky in the fact that, you know, I don't have a standard job.
Yeah.
I wake up when I want, so I've never set an alarm clock unless I have to.
Yeah.
So how I sleep, I mean, obviously it's different if people have jobs and they wear all those funky, weird-ass glasses and shit.
The blue light blockers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to watch, you know, Spy Kids in 3D or something.
Yeah, man.
Spy Kids.
No, it's them old books you used to have in primary school. You wear the glasses with the dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the 90s, they just dropped a diazepam, but obviously, you know, things have changed.
Yikes.
You literally, yeah. So, you know, I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up when I naturally wake up. So if I wake up after 9 hours, I wake up. If I wake up after 13 hours, I wake up. So, I mean, stress, you know, I'm the most stress-free person you'll ever meet.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I mean, literally, I really don't care about anything, dude.
To be honest,
so bad.
It's a good thing though, because I'm envious of that. It's the kind of lifestyle I want to end up with in the future.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, I mean, my first show I won, the NABBA Central Britain, I was 20 years old, and everyone's, you know, getting their tan on, stressing, all this shit, and I'm lying on the floor with my feet up, singing Whitney Houston.
That's it, yeah.
And
I
thought
dance with someone.
And it was what was it?
And no, fuck that. I ain't saying that more than that.
I think it was that one actually.
Was it?
Yeah, but literally, well, what I did as well, I thought, you know, I love 70s, 80s bodybuilding. Yeah. So I looked at the guy next to me and I said, "It's a bit early to do your tan, isn't it?" And he goes, "What?" And I said, "We're not on for another hour." And he's there and he's like asking his coach, and his coach is just like, "No, you're fine, you're fine." I was like,
and that's genius.
I remember asking another dude, "Are you doing the physique class?" And he goes, "No, I'm doing bodybuilding." I was like, "Oh, okay, me too." And, you know, shit like that. I mean,
yeah,
that's funny.
I just found it funny.
When it comes to the day of the contest, I'm his father.
I don't do one. Yeah, I think that's funny.
I give them the secrets, but not all the secrets.
Yeah. It's like nowadays you never hear. There's never really like a big thing. With is there? Like, not.
No, I mean, you know, a lot of bodybuilders today are boring. That's why compared to the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the stories I've heard about the 90s guys from people who've been there, witnessed it. It's fucking awesome, man. Yeah. I mean, whereas everyone now seems a bit kind of uptight and I mean, you know, that's why I like Luke and Fouad. You know, they talk openly and shit.
They talk.
But a lot of guys are so fucked up. You know, it's like, "Well, do my training. My training's the only way."
Yeah.
Oh, look at me, fuck off.
They just chat honestly. Yeah, that is a rare.
Literally, it's like Zach Khan. I love Zach, man. He just talks his mind.
Yeah.
You need
Hasn't
that.
he had his Instagram deleted multiple times?
He's got another one.
Oh, yeah. I message
Back.
Zach quite often. Yeah, it's fucking funny, man.
Yeah.
Funny guy. He'll be competing at the British as well. I'm interested to see what he'll look like.
Well, you know what? Today's era of bodybuilders is probably the best amount of pros the UK has ever had who are actually doing stuff and competing.
Across the board, yeah, for sure.
But I will say, Zach, before his injury...
Oh, it's brilliant.
I mean, look, obviously, conditioning was always kind of the thing he struggled with.
Yeah.
As far as body, size, he was the top 6 Mr. Olympia competitor, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Sure. He was Big Ramy before Big Ramy.
I remember seeing some shitty footage of him at Temple Gym training with Dorian, and he's there, and he was only young, and he can't really pose too great, but the sheer frame and size is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you go on YouTube and Google Zach Khan bench press, you can see him bench 3 bar, 260 kilos for 2 reps clean. Yeah. Other than maybe Luke Sandow and James,
who's that strong?
Do that. Yeah,
that's
no one's that strong.
What do you think about the whole thing with there's almost like a UK style and a rest of the world style, where we're very much into very gnarly, heavy, hard training, whereas it almost comes across as the Venice Beach sort of training is a lot of higher volume, slightly light loads and stuff, and just going to pretty much the same, just go to failure on stuff, but just with a lot lighter load. It's a lot more pumpy. What do you think?
Well, I mean, in the last 23 years, when did a British bodybuilder win the Olympia?
Exactly.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah.
I think that's a bit disrespectful on the American guys. Because obviously you look at Ronnie, Jay, they don't train as.
They use volume.
Don't get me wrong. I was generalizing. If you look at Ronnie Coleman, Ronnie was doing both.
I mean, even Phil Heath, these guys in Kuwait now, they train smart. That's the difference. Yeah. They train so smart. It's risk and reward. I mean, obviously, we in the UK now make this big deal about you have one set to do everything. Yeah. That's the only way to train. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I mean, come on, they're selling a plan. Let's be honest.
There's nothing wrong with training that way. It definitely does work.
For me, because both work. Because I spent the first 2 years.
Yeah.
I just did high volume. I was doing
not even that though. It's like people base it off of certain individuals and the intensity they're able to put into that set. Majority of people that are doing 2 sets per exercise can't put in the amount of
elicit
effort.
that level. Yeah.
And I mean, like I say to you guys, I said this in the gym before. I say this to everyone when talking about training styles. If I point out a random stranger in the street and I say to you, right, go kill him, your view will be different to Joe's view. Joe's view will be different to my view. We'll all have different ways. And one way might be quicker, but more risky. One way might be, more dangerous. One way might be safer, but take longer. Do you know what I mean? And that's what training is. I mean, Dorian trained fucking awesome. I mean, he did low volume and, I came from that. I came from Temple Gym, and obviously people talk about this low volume shit now. I mean, fuck me, I was born into that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the thing is, Dorian got fucked. He got so many fucking
you look at
injuries.
his career as well. It's 7 years from amateur to professional.
Yeah, I mean,
8, 9 years.
I mean,
9
years. Torn bicep, torn tricep, fuck shoulder. And realistically, you know what I mean. I mean, where you look at the high volume guys. I mean, fuck me, look at Dexter Jackson, man. He's still killing it.
Yeah, still going.
I mean, look at Jay. I mean, Jay Cutler. Other than that one bicep tear. I mean,
even his bicep tear, he had a better peak anyway. It's weird.
I mean, you look at Phil Heath as well. Everyone says, Phil trains like a pussy.
No.
He does it. He just trains smart. Yeah.
Well, what? I mean, I saw a really funny picture actually online. It was a picture of Jordan and Phil Heath, and the caption was, it was like saying so you do push-pull legs, lol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, Jordan's not wrong. Phil's not wrong. It's whatever works for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But people go into it too much, and they get so funny about.
There's just no middle ground anymore. You're either in this team or that team. That's what fucks me off.
If you're going to be 100% in that team, you better be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
that's all I can say, because that's like me saying, I'll give you an example. No one's better at sex than me.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? You might be. I don't know. You are. You know what I mean? It's so fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Yeah. But, I mean, that's the problem with bodybuilding. There's so many variables to play. There's genetics.
And it's the whole thing is perspective as well. The whole fucking sport is built on
it's
what somebody else sees as.
And everything goes around in a circle as well. You know, I mean, push-pull legs is popular now, but it was around in the 60s, 70s.
Yeah, that's the way Sergio Oliva used to train. A lot of people don't know that.
And Mensa as well, right? Mensa used to do lower volume.
Well,
whole body. You'd have like a Olympic press, Olympic squat variation.
And entire body workouts. They were a popular thing in the past. People are doing them now. Volume was really popular. Obviously, Dorian came, kind of mixed it up a bit. Then it was Ronnie and Jay. Volume became popular again, and we're going back in that circle. And that's sort of how bodybuilding goes. Even in the physiques as well. I mean, let me give you guys an example. Obviously, people are going to listen to this and they'll be like, oh, he's a hater, whatever. But I'm fucking right. So, they go fuck themselves. But, all right, listen to this. So you look at the Olympias in the 60s and 70s. So Arnold was winning. Then Arnold had that break between 75 and 80. Who won the majority of Olympias during that period?
Frank
Zane, thank you. Now, Frank Zane, today's standard would he even be a classic competitor? He'd be a small classic competitor.
He's be more
almost men's physique, but
you look at his weight and his height. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Lou Ferrigno was, if Lou Ferrigno kept competing, in my opinion, he would have beaten Frank Zane.
Yeah, so definitely.
They went from Arnold, the big, powerful mass monster in those days, to the aesthetics, and then Arnold came back for a bit. Then in the 80s, it went Lee Haney.
It's a mixture of both, isn't it?
Mixture of both. Yeah. And Dorian, he was mass. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because if they wanted pretty physique, Flex Wheeler would have won, or Levrone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then obviously Ronnie came, and it was back to mass again. And then Jay, and then Phil kind of came along. And Phil, for a big dude, has good aesthetics.
Yeah.
But obviously, he kept going on and on.
And pushing it. Yeah.
Blown out.
And then obviously Sean Roden came. Now Sean Roden,
it's the same thing repeating.
Well, Sean Roden won that Olympia because of his waist.
Yeah, that's probably
Phil's condition
equal,
from the back.
A bit less on condition. Phil's was better from the behind for
Phil's
sure.
condition was good, but Sean looked
he's got more muscle from behind. So
especially from the back. I mean, Phil's back is ridiculous. He's really.
I didn't agree with him losing it anyway, but
I did, to be honest. I mean,
I think I did, but it was sort of like because obviously whoever wins the Olympia, that's then the status quo.
Yeah.
From there on.
I mean, look at how Brandon won last year. I mean, realistically,
I don't think he should have won.
I thought Hadi should have won.
I agree. It's what you're looking for again.
Yeah. I mean, now, for example, I say this because I truly believe it. If we were judging those 90s guys today, in today's judging criteria,
it's weird, isn't it?
Dorian wouldn't have won 6.
No. If either won 6 or been 10th.
Yeah, I mean, you look what they're after now. They're after something different. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to literally pop for a piss for like a minute. So I'm going to let you look at my dog and you can talk to him about...
All right, where's Chester? Let's get some Chester on camera.
Yes.
Look at him, Chester. Beautiful. Oh, he's adorable.
Beautiful.
Dog cam. How's things going, Chester? You good?
Thanks, mate. Don't ask how I am,
I'm hoping you're good, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. Yeah, getting back into it, looking a bit fuller,
You are. You filled out a bit. You're looking more dense.
Tim said the same thing the other day when I was training.
There's a lot of muscle memory
cropped on the back as well.
Yeah, definitely.
What was that?
I'm just going to post this on the gram that we're filming with Chester.
Excellent. Yeah, man. I'm on a nutritional plan now as well, thanks to our guest.
Oh, absolutely. That's great. Yeah. I think Yeah, just like it's nice. It's very nice having the consistency of diet. Oh, we have some movement.
Got some movement.
This is such a, what's the word? Is it sublime? Is that the word? Episode? Installment?
It just means brilliant, you know.
Yeah, because we have a dog. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing. Look, there he is.
That's back. Hey.
Oh, he's bought him. What's that? Powdered Trent. Jesus Christ.
He doesn't even like pick up off, he lies back down to grab it.
Fucking falls on the floor. Oh, we're on the move.
Excellent.
Oh, there we go, back on the sofa.
All right, fantastic.
Lovely. Yeah. So as we was talking about different bodybuilders, Arnold's name came up. Shall we talk about the Arnold and our predictions for the 2020 Arnold?
Oh, yes.
Sure. I'll put my phone on charging.
I'm very excited.
All right, so
I say I am. I'm not really.
How are you not excited? It's almost an Olympia lineup.
I know, but
okay.
I don't know. This year, it's just been.
Do we want to? I'll read out the competitors. Okay.
Okay.
So we've got 14 guys in the open bodybuilding. So we've got Lionel Biecki, William Bonac, Max Charles, Big Ramy, Dexter Jackson, Johnny Jackson returning, Steve Kuklo, Jocelyn Artowitz, Victor Martinez,
yep,
Cedric McMillan,
yep,
Patrick Moore,
yep,
Sergio Jr.,
yeah,
Akeem Williams,
yeah. Rowley's not doing it. Rowley's not doing it, but Diasher is.
Oh, so they swapped out. Okay, so Diasher's in.
Big Ramy or Bonac. Patrick Moore, possibly top 3.
I hope Patrick's top 3. I do.
Dexter's too old now.
I'm not a fan of his physique at all. So.
Cedric, hit or miss if he brings it.
Yeah.
Lionel Biecki looks like a chocolate glazed donut, so he's going to go there. Sergio Olivier, top 6, maybe.
If he's brought up a lot of the things we hope he's brought up, because last time he competed, he just wasn't big enough all round.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the insertions from behind. I don't know. Maybe it's just because he didn't have the size at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, it might just be a mass thing. We'll see.
I mean,
I like Josh. I like Josh Lanowitz's physique.
I'm sure. Isn't Isn't Blessing doing the Arnold?
Yeah,
he is. Okay, cool. I know he's not on the list, is he?
No.
Yeah, I mean, even if he's not gonna win it. You know.
I don't think he's going to win it now. But I think he'll be. I'm interested to see what he looks like next to people.
Yeah, I mean, usually, on kind of pros' first shows, it's more just about seeing how they fit in.
Yeah.
If they don't look out of place, it's a good thing. If they do well, it's a positive.
If you bring some good enough condition, there's no reason why he can't be in that top 8. Because he's got the frame, he's got the structure. So
yeah, he's got a very small waist for a guy his size. So fingers crossed.
Realistically, out of that lineup, let's say everyone comes in 100, which is never going to happen. You'll be lucky if you get one guy coming up at 100%. Big Ramy's taking it home, just because that overpowers everyone.
And then Cedric.
I'd say Biecki. Cedric or Biecki.
Yeah.
If you got in condition,
okay.
But the problem is he never gets in condition.
Yeah, Biecki.
That goes for both of those guys as well. All three that you've just listed have never been in that good quality condition.
Yeah, I mean, Big Josh a couple of years ago was awesome.
Yeah.
But he started, his condition hasn't been.
He's had some issues, I know, health-wise as well, hasn't he? Which has hopefully been resolved, and fingers crossed he makes a comeback this year.
He's had a baby as well, so
that does a lot.
Maybe he will come back a bit smaller and tighter and more conditioned because he's fucking huge anyway.
Yeah, he's
going to sacrifice a bit.
If he can bring his like gnarly condition, that's good.
Bigger doesn't mean better.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and speaking of bigger doesn't mean better. Patrick Moore. You don't like his physique, Joe.
Not really.
See, I don't know why, but I think he's got a really nice physique because it's just
he'll do well. I mean, the new kind of, realistically, if you're looking at kind of the new criteria, such as what they kind of prefer the aesthetic looks, guys like Rafael Brandao,
Antoine,
Patrick Moore, Regan,
for example. I mean, even Brandon Curry in there, Regan as well. In a few years, I think he'll do very well.
Yeah.
And you look at these bigger guys now. I mean, look at you might have heard of him, an NPC competitor called Nick Walker.
Yes.
It looks like a fridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loads of muscle, but he hasn't got a pro card yet, has he?
It's true.
What does that tell you?
They're not looking for that anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the big guys now have to come in with a nicer look. I mean, for example, for the UK, so Luke's got good aesthetics 100%. For a big dude.
He does. He's got pretty. Assuming he keeps his waist that tight, because he has been able to. I think Luke's going to be his names this year. I'm excited to see what he brings. Hello?
Yeah.
We all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Kugler chasing the top 6. He does come in good condition, but he's not good enough to win it now.
Johnny Jackson.
Max Charles?
No.
But no to both?
No, he's about 5 years too late.
I think he'll be. His training's awesome, but I think he'll be in a bit of a different story.
Johnny, once you've lost it, it's gone. Johnny's gone. Yeah, same as Victor Martinez.
I don't know. I think Victor looked really good last year.
No, I mean his placings reflected how he did.
I know. I think his physique's different to what it was in his prime, so they're probably comparing him to what he was 12 years ago.
He's torn up. Do you know what I mean? It's like Branch towards the end. He was a bit torn up. Dexter now. I mean, Dexter's gonna go down in the placings because when you get to that age, it's just.
I feel like Dexter at this point, he's just doing it because he loves it, because he's got nothing to prove. He's won everything.
Well, he gets paid. That's why he does it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
it's true. He does get paid, but at some point,
all that coaching, obviously placing. So Dexter's quite clever. So Dexter always normally does multiple shows a year, and you go to some of these European countries, you can pick up 20 grand here and there, 10 grand, and it all adds up.
That's the thing that Cedric's been doing, isn't it? He had a little spree last year, I think, where he just
won 3-4
shows and just picked up a bunch of money. So,
I mean,
if you can, then why not?
Yeah, best way to make a living.
Yeah, doing what you love, isn't it? So, what's your predictions for top 3? Starting with Mr. Barbarian.
Yeah.
Based off of what you've seen in the last 2 years, so.
Ramy, Barnack, Moore.
Okay.
In that order.
Okay, so there's 3 very different physiques.
Ooh, okay.
I think Big Ramy, after his time off, I think we'll see him a bit downsized, but I think that'll suit him.
Yeah.
I think Bonnack's pretty reliable. You know what you're kind of going to get.
Yeah.
Patrick Moore will obviously shoot up. I can see him being top 3.
Yeah.
And you?
100%. I agree for the most part. I feel like it's going to be a battle potentially for that 3rd spot between Ced and Patrick. Purely because from the track record, it's like Arnold is mainly Cedric's one show that he brings some a decent look at in the Arnolds. So if he can sort of hold it together this time around and bring it in, if he brings it in at let's say 90%, he's going to wipe the floor with most people.
Yeah.
But then I feel like we're in the place now where Patrick, I think, will be a lot like William in that he'll be incredibly reliable in terms of conditioning and coming in peeled. And he's quite a young guy still, isn't he? He's
he's 35.
Oh, is he? Okay.
In bodybuilding terms, that's
still he's not incredibly old when you've got Dexter on the same stage.
For some reason, I just keep imagining them comparing Sergio and Patrick a lot. I don't know why.
Definitely, yeah.
I don't know. It's just
I think, but I do think that Patrick overall has a more aesthetic appeal. He has almost like that Lee Haney like vacuum.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you see very often now.
No. And I think either Josh or what's his name, Sergio's going to get the best poser award.
Yeah, I agree.
Josh won last year.
Yeah,
for a big guy.
Although if the powers that be
best poser will be
continue to favour Cedric probably.
He competed last year and he didn't win it, so
it's true.
So we'll see.
It's like, oh my gosh, he's my boy. You know, Joe Weider. We'll see.
Oh my god.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else in regards to the Arnold lineup? I don't
think so.
Is going to win the classic, and that's it.
The person
pretty simple in that regard.
The person to win classic will be, if it's not Chris Bumstead, it'll be a black guy with really good genetics.
What for the Olympia or
classic?
Okay,
classic Olympia.
Yeah, classic Olympia. Okay.
No, yeah, sorry.
Just describing bodybuilding in general. Yeah.
Arnold Classic. It's kind of vague, but I'm pretty sure I'll be accurate.
Okay, and so wait, let's look at the lineup again. Let me just check.
Classic. Santi might do well. He's a bit small though.
I like a lot of the guys have moved up to 212, haven't they?
Yeah.
On the sofa.
Oh, Steve's in it. It's Steve, is it? He'll blow
it.
Yeah.
I think he's moved up to 212 now. But
he should be open.
Keon Pearson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
I wish he stayed classic for at least another year. Just one more year, man.
I'll do that. I've just got to get something off the top shelf because
that's cool.
Okay. Hyung's doing it as well. Have you seen this guy?
You? Branch Chen?
No, Hyung Ju.
Who? It's breaking up, man.
Hyung Ju.
Oh, okay.
I sound like I'm being offensive.
I thought you said the Hung Jew. I was like, what?
That's what. Yeah, I was a bit worried that's what it come across as, to be honest.
Like Heung.
Hyung and then Aoo.
Hyung.
Interesting physique.
Hung what? Hung Jew. Double O.
Hyung Ju.
Yeah, I've got no pictures.
Trying to find a decent picture of him. I can't even find any pictures of him, for goodness sake.
He hasn't got an Instagram.
I've seen a couple of pictures of him.
Okay.
And I thought he has a very interesting looking physique. I just don't know how it'll stack up next to a lot of these people.
Yeah, you can never tell because they look great when they're standing next to it, like on their own.
That's the thing, yeah. The beauty of classic physique is you look twice the size you are when you're on incredible lines. So, but when you stack up next to someone who's got like a quarter of an inch smaller waist, you just get blown out of the water.
Any more? Are there other sporting events you guys are looking forward to?
Got Six Nations, isn't it?
Fuck Liverpool.
Six Nations? No one. Okay, cool.
Liverpool are going to win the league.
No shit. Unless Alisson just isn't there, you know.
Or Van Dijk.
Yeah.
My dinner's going to be
I was just going to say Six Nations, and that's, but that's already started. Actually, I don't know this. I'm sure England was meant to play today.
They are. They're playing against France, I think. I don't know.
Nations,
not a big rugby fan.
England.
Yeah, rugby.
I played American football.
Yeah, I used to play rugby.
Shit.
Like county levels.
England lost to France.
I used to play quite decent, but
okay. You got the size for it now. So.
Well, yeah, I used to play. I played for county. We even had a county trial where people were getting like trials for England and stuff.
Okay.
But for me, I started getting into martial arts and more kind of fitness, and
Why is that the theme?
I don't know.
People before bodybuilding, they always do a fight sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did years of karate. I did kickboxing, and I did Wing Chun for a bit.
Okay, my granddad did Wing Chun as well.
Realistically, once I've kind of, I guarantee my last show will be before I'm 30. After that,
what are you now? 26?
25. Yeah, just turned 25. So
still young.
Yeah, I'll probably do. I'll see how my knee injury goes if we can get it sorted. I'll definitely do one more show. But for me, I mean, my idea on bodybuilding has changed. I just want to bodybuild for me now. I'm not really concerned about trying to win anything or.
I do want to see you step on stage like one last time, because I've never seen you actually compete. The only time I've known you has been in your off season. So
yeah, I mean, so when I used to compete, I always did my own preps, and the only thing I'll say negative about myself is that I had an obsession with looking big on stage. I probably would have done a lot better if I wasn't so obsessed with looking big. So I used to carb up on insulin. I used to maybe over carb, and I looked full as fuck. But you don't win shows that way. But that's just my personal preference. For me, I've always preferred. I love the posing side of bodybuilding, but the competing side isn't really my main draw to it. I mean, I just I love doing it for myself.
It's the artistic side and building something yourself and presenting.
Yeah, I mean,
one thing as well to finish off the show, which I've thought of that I want to bring into every episode that we do, every guest we have on. Who was the first person you saw in a magazine in real life that you thought, fuck me, that looks incredible?
I can think of. Right, so I'll give three experiences. So the first one was Jay Cutler. Okay. In a bodybuilding magazine. The first actual physique I saw that made me want to be quite a big dude was Bolo Young. Chong Lee from Bloodsport. How he used to walk out and he did the whole
nice.
And that was always my guy. I mean, even when I was younger, I preferred the off-season physiques. His dad preferred off-season bodybuilders to on-stage bodybuilders, and seeing that made me kind of want to get big. I was into Sylvester Stallone as well. But as far as I remember, when I was 16 years old, I walked into Temple Gym, and there was this massive dude with blonde hair there, and he actually ended up becoming a really good friend. Yeah, he's called Nikolai, and he had the biggest shoulders, and that motivated me. And I mean, it's weird. Obviously, now my motivations are different about then, but
What about you, Jermaine?
For me, it's interesting. So, obviously, for me, it's watch it. You have it where you watch fucking action movies as a kid. I'm pretty about this at some point, Joe. I can't remember when, but like it was definitely like watching like cartoons as a kid. I used to have like Action Man like toys and stuff. Yeah, man. And like the little jacked Ninja Turtle toys and stuff. And I was like, I don't know, super young. And like, so from there, I was like, okay, this is probably what a man. In my head, I was like, this is what a man looks like, Yeah. Also, at the time,
and then you ended up like you do now. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, I know, it all went wrong. Look at the fucking hair. Jesus.
Shave it off.
I'm good. I'll keep it. You know what?
I think I've got more hair on my chest than Joe's got on his entire body.
No, definitely not. You've not seen my ass crack.
You've got a hairy chest. But so it was that, and then obviously like just like watching like I don't know, He-Man, Stallone films like Expendables and stuff like that. Old Arnie movies, Rocky, all that sort of stuff.
Oh shit!
And that made me want to be like muscular and fit and like had like almost the action movie look. And then it sort of progressed. So obviously at one point, I think so when I was like 15, about to turn 16, I saw physiques like you're going to hate on me for saying this, but Ziz was probably one of the first.
He was probably one of my inspirations when I was 16.
Yeah, very
as well. Yeah,
just a guy who gave
zero
fucks with a super, like, very, in my opinion, very aesthetic physique. Men's physique before it was men's physique. And so that stood out to me as like one pivotal moment where I was like, I want to be like this guy. And then I saw who did I see bodybuilding wise? From there, it sort of progressed. When like you get a 6-pack and you're like, okay, what's next? So for me, it was probably I saw Cedric and I was like, that guy's huge, but he still looks sick.
You went from a fucking coke addict to Cedric McMillan. Brilliant.
I had an appreciation for what.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And how he works, obviously his whole story. So that was very impressive to me. And then from there, in terms of actually wanting to look like someone, I saw Wesley Vizes, I think.
Oh, okay.
And when he was young, though, when he was like 20
or whatever.
Yeah, when he was just getting started, I was like, in 4 years' time, I'd like to get close to that if possible. Obviously, at the time, I had no concept of drugs. So
it's natural.
So I didn't necessarily realize what he was doing or like what to get to that point.
But definitely for you, come from like cartoons and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it was like the whole He-Man, like Arnie.
See, I'm the complete opposite. Mine was from originally seeing some pictures of when my granddad was younger, and then
fuck's sake.
And then fucking Batista in WWE.
Yeah.
So, yes, get gay porn. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Men in their tights.
Only when you sent me the link. It was actually when I watched that BBC documentary and I saw you that massive.
I know I motivate people.
Yeah, man. But no, I think pro wrestling.
But you know what? I mean, even now, like we see motivation. I mean, I see motivation everywhere. So, for example, like even in the gym. So I notice even guys who aren't bodybuilders training, they have a good body part, and I'm like, just little things like that. I mean, so for example, with me, my weak part has always been calves. So when I see someone calves, I really appreciate that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I see someone, with crazy legs, crazy arms, you can always, even if they're not a bodybuilder as such.
Yeah. It's like I think of that. I'm the same with calves, and I look at Tim Jones, the gym, and like he doesn't genetically, I don't think, have very strong calves, but like what he's managed to do with his calves, I think is super impressive. Like he's actually put on some quality mass on his calves, and it's like
the best calves I've ever seen in person. Even though he was retired, Dorian.
Yeah, me too.
Huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Size got massive.
Size got some incredible calves. Yeah.
Right.
What do you say? Luke Sundown. He's got awesome calves.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think who else. Yeah, a few amateur guys down the years. But
I'm pretty sure I remember, just to finish off, because obviously Milos, my friend, his dad used to be on the Gladiators and he was Dorian's training partner. I'm sure when I was about 5, Rad picked Milos up from school, and it was it had to be Dorian. This was like 2005, 2006.
Wow.
And it must have been him because there's just 2 guys, Rad and another guy I didn't know at the time. They just got out of the car, and the guy was wearing shorts, and it looked like Jason after Indiana Jones and just 2 of them stuck on his legs, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And at 5, you're on level with the calves. And I was like, wow.
And this, especially, I can imagine, like when you're super impressionable and younger.
Oh yeah.
Imagine seeing that.
Sweaty men. Yeah, man. Yeah. I think that's about it, though, for the week.
Yeah. Anything we want to cover real quick? Do you want to plug yourself, Sam?
I've already done it a bit. But, if you go on Instagram, @Barbarian Training, we've got @Barbarian Classic, Facebook, that shit as well. We've got the page. I've seen you buy tickets for Eventbrite and all that stuff.
Awesome, yeah.
But, I mean, like I said to you guys, today you idolise bodybuilders.
Yeah.
5 years' time, it could be the businessman. That's how it
already do. Like people like Jim Rohn, if you ever listen to any of his stuff.
I mean, Phil Heath. Phil Heath,
well, you know what?
at the moment.
I used to idolise Kai Green. I mean, even though he did that weird gay shit, that didn't bother me. Did what he had to do. I respect that. But nowadays, as they get older, the problem is everybody wants to be the champion. Everybody wants to be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to be Jim Mannion. Nobody wants to be Ryan Alexander. But these are the guys who make more money than anybody.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So
very true.
That's how I look at it anyway. So
that's
a bit of advice.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is kind of advice because I imagine mostly it's going to be younger guys listening to this. About your age. Don't do what everyone else is doing. So just because your friend's an online coach, don't become an online coach. Just because he's a PT, don't be a PT. And get a career. Bodybuilding is a hobby. If you can make money out of it, do it. But always have that backup.
Yeah.
You're never, you're never always going to be a bodybuilder. When I was 19, 18, that's all I was. That was the only thing in my head. I'm going to be a bodybuilder. Whereas now, if people ask me what I am, I'll say, I'm a business owner. I do this, do that. So all I'm going to say is if you do try and look for a way to kind of make it in this industry, find a niche, fucking own it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So Barbarian training at Barbarian Classic for you, Jermaine.
Yes. Thank you for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed another installment. Hope it was eye-opening. I'm sure it was. You got to see a bit of Sam's nipple.
Or a bit more
there
now.
They are again. Ooh. Right. So for the listening viewers, please comment, like, all that good stuff. Let us know what you think. Messages on Instagram, etc. Tag us and stuff. We love feedback and look forward to our next installment. All right, guys. See you later.
All the best, guys. See you soon.
Bye.